Hola, mi gente, and welcome back to another episode of Vino y la Verdad, hosted by the ladies of Wine and Wisdom 5. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Claudia, with your statement earrings.
Love her earrings today.
Rocked it out.
Beautiful.
I love it. It looks awesome. With the black, it pops.
Yes.
Very
Definitely.
Latina.
Yes.
Es for Tito Nieves.
Very Latina. I love it. Halloween
Love
is
it.
around the corner.
Yes.
Are you guys
Yes.
ready? I know this is like Gloria and I's thing. Like, I love
Oh.
Halloween. Always creative with the costumes.
Love it.
I love
I love Halloween. This year is like I'm overwhelmed with life. I'm like, anyway.
I get it.
It kind of sneaked up this year, I gotta say. Believe it or not. Like even for me, like I'm usually got some other stuff going on, or I'm ready, or and this time it was like, oh, it's now, it's coming up. Oh, it's here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I totally get it. I feel like everything is creeping up and it's gonna turn the corner and the holidays are already here.
Yes. Like we're
It's
already
just
talking
like
Thanksgiving, and I'm like, oh my God, Thanksgiving.
I know.
I started like I decorated my house like literally October 1st. Like I was ready. Great.
Yeah.
Started school Saturdays, and then I'm like, I have no life. I feel like I have no time.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my God. Then like the big kids aren't really like stressing me about it like before.
Yeah.
Like I had to be. So this time I got Julian's outfit like the first week of October.
Nice.
So, yeah,
nice and early.
Nice out the way.
But now I'm like, where are we going? It's a Tuesday. I have homework due on Tuesday. Like it's just
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Go anywhere.
So people try to do stuff on the weekend because obviously the Tuesday or the weekend after. It's usually, the way it works out.
And it's become such a huge even though it's not an official holiday, it's become so big that it's a holiday now. Everybody's into Halloween, and it's like
it was something that was just ours, and now in other countries they're celebrating it just as big as us. Like people are literally having Halloween parties in other countries and getting dressed and everything else. So definitely it's huge.
I think it's like a time for like adults to be kid again.
Yeah.
Like just to have fun and like just enjoy. And then with your kids, like it's fun. So I enjoy it. Just this year's a little crazy.
Yeah, I know. Life gets in the way sometimes. Actually, life gets in the way all the time. All the time. We just got to try to run circles around it, But I wanted to talk about something really quick. Halloween maybe not Halloween, because I think these people wear masks and then now they're revealing it. They took them off and they're just revealing everything. I want to talk about all these books all these memoirs that are being written. And everybody's spilling the wine all over the place.
Like the truth stuff.
So much spilling of the wine.
Yes. Well, is it too much spilling of the wine?
I think so. Listen.
Who are you referring to? Which one? Which person?
Me?
Yeah.
Britney Spears.
Okay, the Britney Spears
I
book.
think is a little too much. Like saying I cheated on you, saying, I had an abortion.
Right.
Like, I get it that you want to bring some things out to light or whatever, but you want to bring out everything? You do have kids. They're going to read this eventually. And I don't know. It's just how I feel about it.
Right.
It's a bit much.
I think she was in a conservatory in a box.
For so long, yeah.
For so long. And I think she had all this bottled up inside. And I also think that, I like Britney Spears, but I think, she has a little tonitos.
No, there's definitely things are not right.
And
all these videos with the knives.
Hello.
These are signs, guys. I'm sorry. Those are signs.
Yes, I agree. I just think that, I think
cries for help.
Right. And I think she just needed to release.
Yeah.
And it's also publicity and, money making and, all that stuff. But she took everybody with her.
Yeah. This is what I mean. Like, demasiado. Pero stop it right now.
The other person I want to talk about is Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh my God. Por favor,
I'm
ya.
so disappointed.
Me too. Ya ella me da.
I'm disappointed in, you know, I was a fan of hers when she was like in a different world and she was real. I feel now she's not being her transparent self.
Yeah.
I just feel like,
I think
your
now
husbands.
it's more like a publicity thing. Like, how can I get attention? How can I get them to yay me? Like, believe it or not, they even were talking about this on The View the other day.
Yes, they were.
And
I was
it's
watching
like,
it.
Ya está bueno, like, enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any more about your lamb life. Like,
Yeah.
who cares?
Like to the point that she even said that she didn't even she never met Will. Like she didn't even know him.
Right.
That she never really fell in love with him, that she never wanted to get married.
Like, dude, this is your husband, the father of your kids. Like,
yeah.
What's wrong with you?
You're just dragging him through the dirt.
So many years.
Yeah. Yeah. And they've been separated since 2016, I believe.
And the pendejo sigue next to her like this.
You know, is he a pendejo?
I don't know. But I'm just like,
I mean, I agree. I was like, este pendejo, right? But then again, you know, I don't know.
I support her. I'm here to support her. Like, okay.
I really don't know. I mean, they all, you know, when you're in that type of industry, you really do live a public life, right? You really have no personal life. There is no privacy. Everything is exposed. But they managed to keep it quiet that they haven't been together since fucking, you know,
separate for all these years.
BC. Like, you know, they've managed to keep it quiet. And I liked the facade of their relationship, right? That how they spoke and they communicated. But now it's like I'm so disappointed. I feel
because it's all a lie.
It was all a lie. It was just a facade.
And this is what I mean, like diary of the mouth. Like, ¿por qué? ¿Pa qué?
Yeah, and it's true. You know, when people say you'll never know what happens behind closed doors, it's 100% true. Like you never know what happens, and I'm sure it's harder for them because they are in the public eye all the time.
And it's like I always say, unfortunately, the world we live in, we believe everything we see or hear or that gets posted, but we don't know the reality of anything.
No, not
especially at all. Right, with social media, that people think because they see whatever they see in social media, they know. Or they know you, or they know the artist, or what they're going through, what their life is like. You don't fucking know. You don't. You're not there. You're not experiencing it. You're not living it day by day. You know, it goes as deep as why most of them wind up in drugs and rehabs and having, you know, mental issues or depressions or all that, because like you just said, they're always on the light. They're always in the eye. They have no time to be a normal human. Right?
No, and not a lot of people can deal with that.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I think we should get together and we should write a book ourselves.
I'm trying to think of how I feel about it. Obviously, these women, individuals, whoever wrote, even the men who have written, they need to get something off their chest, right? They need to express the truth. Maybe like with Jada, she was seen as the bad one. You know, so maybe she doesn't want that, or she wants to clear her name or whatever, but it's kind of having the opposite effect, because I saw her interview with someone, like I can't remember who it was, and in my
with Hoda on the
I mean, she even says that she was with Tupac. Like,
oh, she was with Tupac before Will, though.
But, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but it was just like it almost felt guarded. I can't explain it, you know. With her and Will, there's some issues there. Issues
deep.
That deep issues that maybe I don't really want.
We don't know.
Nobody knows, right?
Nobody knows, and to be honest, maybe it's best for people not to know. You just do, because it brings out that negativity. Because look at what happened with him when he smacked. You know, it just brings out an other side. So I think it's just something that they have to do, what they feel like they have to do. Publicity. They need some money, maybe, you know, like all of that comes into play. And it's sad. It's sad. Sometimes, like you said, you bring everyone down with you, you know, and sometimes they just need to get help. Get the help that they need without making it public.
I agree.
I still love Will Smith, though.
Oh, no, definitely. Me too.
Yeah, I still love him. I think he's amazing and he's talented and
Yes.
but I don't know. It's crazy. But anyway, we don't go anywhere because we'll be right back with our Pero Porque Why segment with the legendary, the amazing Tito Puente Jr. We'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Pero Porque Why segment. Today, we have such a special guest. We are so honored to have the legendary Tito Puente Jr. on our show. Come
Vaya.
Hello.
And here. Sorry for the delay.
No, it's okay. How are you?
Mucho gusto, un placer, familia. Gracias por invitarme.
Igual.
Señores, mujeres, lindas, latinas. Mucho gusto. Gracias por invitarme a su programa. Thank you so much for having me on the program this evening. And this is kind of cool. I love this.
Thank you. Thank you. We showered extra today. Look, Claudia even did her hair.
Y no es sábado y nos bañamos.
¿Verdad? No es sábado. Nos tragamos un poquito.
Looking great. Looking great.
So we're excited to have you, and amongst many of topics that we can, have with you in regards to your legacy, your dad, what you do, how you represent music. But we wanted to talk about the representation of Latin music today, right? Especially salsa music. We have this conversation all the time, how we all grew up dancing salsa. The three of us are salseras. We love it. But, it seems to be fading. But then Latin music, and at the same time, seems to be rising to the top with people like Bad Bunny and Karol G with all these sold out concerts. So we wanted to get what your take on it is. Like, do you feel that Latin music, certain genres of Latin music are fading?
I'm not gonna really comment too much on the state of the music today, but I can tell you what I've experienced personally with playing the music of Tito Puente, salsa music, Latin music in general. It thrives, maybe not in certain markets, maybe as much as it did in the United States back in the 80s or in the 90s, where they had salsa romántica, salsa fuerza, salsa dura. So the generations are different. However, I personally like the Bad Bunnies and the Karol G's and all that, because they are showing respect for the music genre that came before them, whether it be reggaeton, pop music, Latin house music. As a matter of fact, I happen to be a very big fan of Latin pop music because I was doing that back in the early 90s. So I was playing dance music. House music was very popular at that time too. Los Ilegales, Proyecto Uno, Sandy y Papo, El General. Let's go back to the originators, Vico C, Big Boy, Lisa M, the creators of the whole reggaeton sound, Yankee. It's nice to see that the new generation, the Karol G's, the Becky G's, the Bad Bunnies, they're all recognizing, but they're always showing respect for the ones that opened the doors, the pioneers, Celia Cruz, Tito Puente, Fania All-Stars. They're so important that the generation today recognize those pioneers that opened up those doors for the artists that you do see today. I personally love the fact that I practically don't go to most concerts anymore, and I don't really know the new artists as much as maybe you guys do. However, I do know the popular ones like the Bad Bunnies, and it's incredible that they are making waves in transitioning what we had in the past and making sure that they take that. I believe Bad Bunny recently in the Coachella concert, he was talking about Tito Puente, Celia Cruz. He was making a big statement in teaching the younger generation today about the music and where it comes from. Let's remind ourselves, Bad Bunny is still in his 20s, I believe, right? In his 20s. So he was probably maybe a baby when Tito Puente passed away. So he never got to see Tito Puente live in concert, experience Celia Cruz either. And he still respects them. And because he knows that was from his parents and that generation was brought down to him with that music. So personally, I believe that the generations now today have shown respect for the pioneers, and I like where the music is going. I really wish that there was more salsa dancing and salsa nightclubs where we can go see our favorite artists that we used to love back in the day. But you know what? There's festivals and we could see like 5, 6 of them at one time. Kind of like the freestyle music. Torres Lamont, Judy Torres, TK, all in
Yeah,
one
yeah,
night.
yeah. All in one shot.
So I
Yeah,
like that.
myself.
I like that we can do that too. And you know, the reggaeton and the trap music that's out today, you can go see one artist, but to be honest with you, not one artist can perform, such as Bad Bunny performing a Coliseum, but he usually brings in a special invited
Yeah.
guest to
Yes.
come in and surprise everybody. So it's
Mhm.
nice to see that, and it is showing respect. They are the showing respect for the elders that came before them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I find myself, I love the whole new generation and everything, but I find myself when it comes to salsa, I'm listening to like the old school salsa,
Yes.
Pacheco, Celia Cruz. I'm listening to the old school. Nothing compares to their music. And I'm a teacher. That's what I do on, on my day job. So right now we're studying Celia Cruz. We're studying Tito Puente. I'm teaching them the salsa. And it's sad. So many don't know. And these are the three, third through fifth grade students. So it's up to us to bring that back to them so they can learn about it. And now they say, oh, I've heard this song, but they didn't know the name of, La Vida es un Carnaval. They know the song,
Right.
but they don't sings it because they've heard it at home. So it's always so rewarding for me when I'm able to do that for our kids.
I like that you're doing that, and thank you. Kudos to you being a teacher, teaching the young youth of today, the Hispanic youth, especially this past Hispanic Heritage Month. That's all I did every single day was try to train my kids. I have a 15-year-old. I have grandchildren who are 8 and 6, and I try to teach them more about where their grandfathers comes from and their music. Celia Cruz, Tito Puente. It needs to be spoke about more in schools, conservatories of music. There should be more music programs. So, but thank you for what you do, and I appreciate that. By the way, the last name Puente means bridge in Spanish. So anybody who's watching doesn't know Spanish, Puente means bridge. And that's what Tito Puente did for 5 decades of his illustrious career. He bridged generations and cultures together. Cultura. That's the most important word here. Culture.
Yeah.
Brought the culture to more people than anybody else in the world, and probably made more records than any other Latin artist in the world, over 186 albums. But he took his music around the world, not just to the United States and to South America, to our Hispanic and Latin Caribbean countries. He brought it to the Far East, to the Orient, to Japan, to Indonesia, to countries that don't know the language of English nor Spanish, but they understood the language of Afro-Cuban music. And that's what Tito Puente was playing. Salsa, if you will.
Right.
And Puente has been doing that for generation to generation. Since my father's passing 23 years ago, that's what I continue, his mission, which is to bridge the next generation. These kids that you're teaching today, Claudia, are young, vibrant kids that might not understand who Celia was, or Tito Puente, or Hector Lavoe, or Fania All-Stars, or Eddie Palmieri, or Charlie Palmieri, these greats. But it's up to us to bring that culture and to teach them about that. And then kudos to you that you are the person that's doing that, because you dance to all those artists and you appreciate them, and you went to the clubs and saw them live, and you got it. It's something that we can never recreate. And that's the hard part, because when I go out when I do my concerts, I see a lot of younger people at my shows. And that's what I do during my concerts. I try to teach your kids, ladies and gentlemen, about where Hispanic music comes from, Afro-Cuban comes from. Celia Puente. Important.
Yeah. And cheers to you for that, and your dad for continuing.
Ay, mira, salud.
Continuing your legacy. Yeah.
Mira,
Salud.
esto es, ¿cómo se llama este lugar? Se llama Vino.
Vino y la
verdad.
Vino y la
Vino y la verdad.
Water bottle.
I ain't got nothing to drink. I'm just, I'm dry. Pero cheers. Saludos. Salud.
Thank you. And your dad, sorry, go ahead.
So glad that you said la cultura, porque eso es lo que hay que mantener vivo, es la cultura. Y yo siendo dominicana, pero salsera 100%. And I have 2 boys, and they're in their 20s. And since they were born, aquí hay conga, aquí hay tambor, aquí hay güiro, aquí hay maraca, aquí hay every instrument in the Latin family that you can have, hay en esta casa. Y siempre le puse música en español, y siempre le hablé en español. Yes, you're American, but your roots are Puerto Rican and Dominican, because their father is Puerto Rican. And I think it's so important to keep our cultura alive, to pass it on to teach them about the music that they've missed out on, because like you said, we can't get that again. We can't get a Tito Puente again. We can't get a Celia Cruz again. We can't get a Eto Lavoe again. We can't get a Fania All-Star again. You know, and this is the music I grew up in because my father loved music. Era bailarín. So eso todo lo que se oía en mi casa every day, you know. I grew up listening to all that. And he taught us how to dance, all of that. And he taught us to appreciate all sounds of music, right? So we could be listening to an African record one day in the house. One day we could be listening to Nat King Cole. One day we could be listening to Cuban. One day we could be listening to Puerto Rican. There was no limits when it came to music with my dad. And I thank him all my life for that, because that's why I love music. And it's so important to keep the cultura alive.
Gloria, being a mom, I appreciate you even more that you're teaching your young kids about this music, simply because they probably gravitate towards the other music that's out there, pop music, Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber. I don't know what they're listening to, but I'm sure they listen to a lot of hip hop and dance music and all that. But you think about it, it's you as a human person that connects that generation together. So kudos to you that you're doing that. You're teaching your sons that experience, and you got that instilled by the culture that your father left instilled in you. And being Dominican, but loving the island, merengue, the sounds of Santo Domingo, the sounds of Puerto Plata, the sounds of the Dominican Republic, the merengue that we grew up with, merengue ripial, the different styles. The different styles of salsa, Jose Alberto El Canario. I mean, we could go on and on with powerful Caribbean musicians.
You know, I even learned to do cha-cha-cha because my father even taught us to dance cha-cha-cha. You know, we don't know how to dance cha-cha-cha. You know,
your father was the one that instilled that in you, and now you bring that to your sons, and that's what that's our challenge. All of us, all you ladies here, all our challenges to instill that in our children or our grandchildren or our nieces or our nephews or what have you, to teach the rest of the generations that to come, and not to forget about those pioneers. But I'm glad that you're doing that, and that makes me feel like we have hope and we have a lot of work to do. And it's nice that you're bringing that culture to your sons, because they're the future. They are the future. And if they're playing conga and timbal and mongo, tell them to call me.
They appreciate it, you know. They're in their 20s and they appreciate it now, you know. So it's like, okay, I guess I did a good thing because they appreciate it, you know.
You're doing the right thing, and I appreciate that. Gracias.
I've always told my mom one of the best gifts that she could have ever given me is to continue the culture at home and the traditions, and to teach us, force us to speak Spanish.
Yes.
So the three of us speak speak Spanish fluently. So when we moved to Puerto Rico, there was no learning curve, right? We fit right in. And I get upset sometimes because my nephews don't speak any Spanish. I'm like, and I tell my sister, I'm like, you dropped the baton, right? Because we speak it, we write it. There's no reason why they can't speak it, but they listen to salsa and bachata and merengue and all of it, and they sing along with it. So it's funny to me that you can sing along with the song, but you can't have a conversation.
Let's also remember too, ladies, that it's culture. Our cultura is not just about music and our language. It's also about our food. It's also about our political figures, our Hispanic gods, and that we always look up to, and of course our sports figures and our entertainment, our actors, our actresses. It embodies everything. Being Hispanic, being Latino, and your house smelling like beans and sazon Goya in your house.
That's right. Eating arroz con gandules, eating pernil, pasteles, coquito.
I already got coquito in my fridge.
Vaya, esa es parte de la cultura. So you got to mix the music, the food, the sense, the atmosphere, the loud tia and the loud tío, and they're playing dominoes and everybody drinking and having a good time. That's the culture. And that's what our kids, they kind of make fun. My kids make fun of me all the time. Hey, Dad, I don't do that mambo music. I listen to, something else. They don't get into it.
They will.
But what I do my best is I take them on the road with me, and I say, "Do sit here and listen to this music. I don't care what you say." And then by the end of the night, they are encouraged and say, "Wow, I like that cha-cha-cha," even though I don't know what you're saying. I'm guilty. I got to be honest with you, Francis. I'm guilty when I grew up, my father spoke English to me. Being born and raised in New York City, it was like a New York thing. Hey, how you doing? We spoke more like an Italian guy from New York in the street. I would get yelled at in Spanish for sure. Me cago en all that.
That's the best way to scold.
That's it. That's why I learned all the bad words first. But I will not do that with my children. As I tell them to take their Spanish classes very seriously, and I'm ashamed being my age now and not being fluent in Spanish, although I get by. But, you know, trust me, my wife is always correcting me. Oh, yeah, Lisa, she calls it Titoism. I don't know what I'm saying sometimes, but I have my own street language, I guess. But that's important that we teach our kids that part of culture too. Language, food, entertainment, sports figures, the whole entire thing is our culture.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know, it's funny. I'm guilty as well. I have my kids, and not my grandma helped me raise my kids. Like when I had to go back to work, so in the beginning they were speaking a lot of Spanish. That's what they heard, blah blah blah, which was fine. But then they go to school. She left. My husband he's American. He's Haitian, Dominican, but he was born here, so speaks in English. So I discipline in Spanish though. Like, oh yeah,
it's a Latina mother thing.
So funny. But I took him to Colombia. I took him to Colombia from Colombia. I took him there already 2 times. I'm like, you defend yourself. You better go talk, figure it out.
That's right.
And they got better.
Get it.
But it's like, but I have to go back. You know, like that's how you learn. And I find here there's a shortage. You know how the Greeks, they go to Greek school. The Jewish people, they send them. There isn't any of that for us Latinos. And I'm like, that's a business. Like it could be like Saturday or something to send them to school and it's Spanish all day, because I would have done that for my kids. We were looking, and really there is nothing out there like that.
I made sure I always got Spanish speaking babysitters for my boys so that they could speak Spanish.
Good. Yeah, that's part of, you know, if you don't subconsciously think about it, but that's part of giving back to your culture. You teach your sons, and you're not gonna get una Americana gringa to come in and I said, you know what, I'm gonna get a Latina to come in here and talk Spanish to you, just so you get it, man. So
give you the arroz con gandula and give you the pendiente, give you the pollo, and
and it's such a beautiful thing. I think it's such a beautiful thing being able to be bilingual, and you know, it just benefits you in not only being able to speak your native tongue, but you know, in work, in school.
Just so necessary in the world we live in today.
I feel it is.
You got to be bilingual to get a lot of jobs. I live in South Florida, and over here it's like a requirement to be bilingual, you know, to get a job. And even in New York too, I mean, a lot of the 5 boroughs in Manhattan, they expect you to speak both languages, and that's an important thing. But that's part of the culture too. Anish, I haven't heard from you. Maybe she wanted to chime in on our conversation.
Yes, I agree with you all. We need to keep on doing that. And I also am one that my children, they do speak a little bit of Spanish, but they really cannot have a conversation. So I am at fault for that. Just like Claudia, their dad was African American, so he did not speak Spanish. So in my house, I, you know, when they went to grandma's, they would speak it, they would hear it, but my mom was also speaking to them in English. So I dropped the ball on that one, but I am working on it because now they're more into their culture and they want to find out a little bit more about it, and they're working on their Spanish.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's good that's good that you're bringing that to their attention too. And my kids too. I have my children, and I try to encourage them to listen to more Hispanic music and things like that. I was playing that in the car. Although I kind of tend to listen to more heavy metal and rock music, and they kind of get into that too. But they always question, and they say, well, where did grandpa come from? They want to know more. And I think just as human beings, we grow. And as Hispanics, we want to know our culture a little bit more. When I return to Puerto Rico, I don't want to just go to the tourist area. I want to go see where my family's from. San Germán, Puerto Rico, Ponce. I want to go there and see where the Puente family was created and the roots of what my culture is about. And I get more into it as I get older and older. And I want to learn more about my culture. And I think that's what most kids are doing today. Bad Bunny and all these artists can guide them in some sort of way, because they do have a powerful voice. And I like that Bad Bunny speaks a lot of Spanish on American TV.
Yes, he does. Yes.
So he did that on Jimmy Fallon, and he did it on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
That SNL thing was all español.
Yes.
Yeah.
That made me proud.
I
It's
loved
like,
it.
It's like everybody else. You got to read the subtitles and learn.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious.
Right.
Yeah, we do it for other movies. Why can't we do it for, for Latinos? I love when he was like, I'm Bad Bunny. I can do anything.
Yeah. Hago lo que a mí me da la gana.
He sure did. Because
De
he
todo.
rocked Saturday Night Live in Spanish.
Yes, he did.
That
So
novela,
It's really good.
that
Yeah.
novelas que, the novelas que,
Yeah.
I was awesome.
The tia was my favorite.
Yeah. It's fantastic. And it's so nice to see that our culture is being represented like that.
Yes.
And man, come on, man. Lady Gaga, Mick Jagger, they even respect him and they respect our Hispanic culture. So that tells you right there how much we impact American television and how much we're meaningful, but we'd have to work a little bit harder on that. My buddy John Leguizamo, he's always fighting all the time to make sure that we get represented more in movies and television. We should.
Yes.
Music, we dominate. We know that already. We see the Billboard charts. We know who's number one. We know who's on top. It's always, somebody, a woman from Colombia and a man from Puerto Rico, Benito and Carol, they're just dominating the charts. We know that.
They are.
And that's nice to see, but we need more representation in
there is
television for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is
Never
definitely
J-Lo all our lives.
Right.
There's
is
still work
definitely.
to be done, right? That's the thing. There's still work to be done. However, people came before us to help it be a little easier. There's still work to be done.
Agreed.
100% I agree. I was helping I'm sure he's a mutual friend, Ralphie Mercado, with a reel that for his they were doing oh my God, a remembrance, like an honorary remembrance for his father. And we were putting clips of, all those years together and things like that of Celia and Tito and Eddie Palmieri. And, I learned so much from that, 45-minute clip. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I learned that your father had multiple degrees.
Yes.
He had
multiple doctorate degrees.
Yes. Wow. He had doctorate degrees.
Yeah, a lot of them were honorary. And I'll be honest with you, the history of Tito Puente is that he did drop out of high school when he was younger in order to pursue his career. And so he worked with the Pupi Campo band at the age of 13, dropped out of school. But he was full-time in that orchestra. They used to have to tie his foot to the bass drum to keep him awake because he would fall asleep. And then, of course, he was drafted. I think back then being a kid was much more harder simply because you got drafted into a war that you didn't even create or anything. And my dad was drafted at the ripe old age of 17. That's very young. And to see battle and combat. But I'm glad that you got to see that. Yes, and he did get a lot of honorary doctorate degrees from Columbia University, from Harvard, from Yale, all those. I got them all. As a matter of fact, I got a couple of them hanging up.
I thought that was so cool. I thought that was so cool. Like there's a picture of him with the cap and gown, and I was like, oh, he looks so cute.
Yeah, with Muhammad Ali. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
cool stuff.
Supposed to show like he's talented, but he saw I need the importance of education. Yes, I did that. I dropped out, but you know what? I can get that too. And it's important to show that and to be an example for our kids.
Yeah, so on a side note, I did not learn from Tito Puente. A lot of people think that I've learned how to play drums by my father. The answer is no. He made me go to school. He said, you got to go to school, my man. I cannot teach you. He wasn't patient like that.
Cheers to your dad.
Cheers to that. Salud, Tito Puente, because he put me through school, and that was the greatest thing he ever did, because now I know how to read and write music, and I can, my career of playing his music, my fall wayside at one day, I will at least know how to read and write music, and I can do studio work and teach others, and do something in the music industry. So I'm glad that he instilled that in me.
Was there a pressure for you to follow in his footsteps, or you wanted to do that, or was that pressure?
I get that question. Yeah,
I was going to say that sounds like a good question.
Well, I played, as I told you before, I'm a fan of rock music. So I was a rock drummer first. So I played rock music back in the late 80s. And I think that was the popular thing at the time. Bon Jovi, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, all those.
I love all that.
I still do. I got tickets to go see them, as a matter of fact, in a couple of weeks. So I will always have that. It's my first love. I started gravitating towards Afro-Cuban music with the clave rhythms in the late 90s when I started traveling more with my father. And then I understood Afro-Cuban beats and Afro-Cuban rhythms by seeing how much impact that his music made overseas in other countries. Going to see Tito Puente at the Copacabana was nothing to
Like,
me.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know, okay, that's boring. I'm gonna go in the back and hang out with my buddies, you know, go hang out and listen to Esa Loca. So I wasn't paying attention. I was too into what I was doing. But when I traveled with him, the impact that he made with his music was something that I started to admire a lot more and envision in my future. So after his passing, his unfortunate passing and untimely passing in 2000, it took me about a year and a half to really get the gall, I guess, cojones, if you will, to play the music of Tito Puente with the blessing of my mother, my sister, my brother. And they said, yeah, you know, why don't you continue Dad's legacy? And what he really wanted was to bring it to the new generation. And I think I've been doing that for the past 23 years. Safe to say, I don't have any wood, knock on wood. And it's been a beautiful ride. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. And I'm just grateful. I've been blessed with some sort of little bit of culture, talent, and name recognition and I guess presentation. Because when you come to my concerts, I play the music of Tito Puente. I might look like him except without the white hair.
And no, you look exactly like the younger version of your dad.
The younger version of Puente. No tengo pelo blanco, chica, pero ya tú sabes.
Ya mismo llega.
Ya ahorita te viene.
But we know what you're gonna look like. At least you know what you're gonna look like when you have your
yeah. But I encourage, you know, I encourage everybody to look and not judge a book by its cover. When you come to my concerts and you see me live in concert, a lot of people are like, well, can he play like Tito Puente? Because he was the most incredible timbal player in the world. He was. And no one has ever come forth before the king.
No.
Unlike him. You know, no one can ever dethrone him.
No.
And when I do my presentations, I take that right out the socket, you know, right from the rip. I tell everybody, you're not going to see my father. You will see an image of him, maybe spiritual, but you will not see Tito Puente on the stage. I will only present the music that I feel that would be most exuberant for you guys to dance to. And people kind of enjoy that and they get taken back by that. Like, wow, he's not trying to be his father. He's presenting his father's music. And I think that's really the key to my success too. Because if I really was banging on those drums and really trying hard, like I would get a lot more just crediting myself for just emulating Tito Puente. Whereas what I'm doing is presenting my father's music so that way new kids and new generation can learn more about it. And maybe my son one day, who's Tito Puente Jr., the third, maybe he'll take over. He's only 15, but you know, I encourage him to play drums and he's kind of into it. He's writing a little bit of music. And maybe he will take over after his grandfather. They say talent skips a generation, so he's going to do great.
You never know.
Never know.
That's amazing. God bless.
Yeah. Do you have just boys? Boy, girl?
Oh, no, I have a daughter too. Yeah. I got daughters.
I have a pair.
I have, my daughter's 17. She's a singer. She's also an actress.
Nice.
My son's 15. And then we have 5 children collectively through other relationships. And the boys are great. Some are MMA fighters. The other one, she's fantastic. We have some grandchildren too. And
that's awesome.
Home, I play dad role. This is my dad role. And then when I go out on the road, I become Tito Puente Jr., you know, business musician type person. But I always yearn to come back home and have that downtime. My father did 300 shows a year, ladies. 300, which means my father wasn't at home that much. So I didn't get a lot of opportunity to be around him. And I decided when I started playing my father's music and I was getting calls from all my agents, we're going to put you on the road for 300 shows. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it like my father because my father was absent. And I want to be absent for my children. So when I'm home, I spend quality time with my kids.
I applaud you for that.
Yeah. No, you got to give me a cheers for that.
Cheers to you for that. That's
right.
I
give you a cheers for that. That's amazing.
Cheers to that. Ella tomando también.
I like the fact that you choose to continue your father's legacy.
Yes.
But in your own way.
Yes.
Representing yourself.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So that's a cheers for me too with that. That you choose to do it that way.
Yes, I choose to do it that way. I don't get forced to, and I tell the agents, and trust me, that the money on the table all the time, and they're always pushing me. Come on, no, I'm not. It's not happening. and it's always my decision. And it took a long time. I guess when you get older, ladies, you guys have you feel better about saying no. Yeah, I'm not going to go out tonight. Why? Well, I don't feel like it.
I don't feel like it.
You start realizing what's really important. You
Right.
start realizing what's really important, what's really valuable to you, and what really matters or counts, right? Like you just said earlier, the money's always going to be there on the table.
It's
But
there.
your kids are going to grow up and you're going to miss out on so much, or that time you can never get it back.
Right.
And if people would think more like that, we would live in such a better world.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And trust me, during the pandemic, my kids were in my face all day and I loved it. We were doing TikTok and all that stuff. It was just hilarious.
Yeah.
But I never stray away from wanting to be with them. That's all my first love is, of course, music, and then hanging out with my kids and going to Universal and making fun of them and them making fun of me, joking around and watching Marvel movies. And I think it's because I'm a kid too.
Well, also, I think too, if you remember how you felt.
Right.
Yes.
Wasn't there.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't want to do that. Right?
Yes. And my father didn't do those things with me. And
Breaking
that's why
barriers.
I'm not going to let that happen.
Yeah.
So that's great. I broke that chain because I think my grandfather, who I never met, Ernest Anthony Puente Sr., didn't spend time with my father either. He was an absent father too, simply because he was working. He worked in Brooklyn at a razor blade factory. And that's when the immigrants came from Puerto Rico back in the early 1900s. And he had worked really hard because he had, my dad and then my aunt and his brother and all that. So he had a big family. So he had to work a lot. And he wasn't there for Pop, and Pop really learned from the streets, his friends in the streets, on how to play timbales and all that stuff. And I tried my best. I already did all the hoopla in my life. I like spending time with my kids and being a kid myself around them.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's
I
cool.
love that. I love that you're choosing to break barriers. I mean, and to break cycles, change a cycle, because a lot of people don't know how to do that, or they don't realize that they're continuing that cycle, and because it's the norm, it's their norm. So they continue doing it. So I love that you're continuing your legacy the way you want to continuing it. You're breaking cycles. I mean, I don't know what to put you. I don't have a golden shelf. I got to give you a little golden Tito Puente Award.
¿Dónde lo ponemos? ¿Dónde lo ponemos?
Yeah, ¿dónde lo ponemos?
Claro que sí. Put a little bridge. That's it. A little bridge. Puente.
Un puentecito. Te vamos a poner un puentecito.
Yeah, definitely.
Put everybody together. Put everybody together. And if you come to the concerts too, it's 2 hours of just forgetting about life for a little bit. And that's what Tito Puente did. I don't know if you guys remember, maybe you might have seen my father in concert, or you went with your parents to go see Tito Puente or Celia Cruz, and you forgot about life for a while. You got so into your culture, and you're like, man, look at that crazy white-haired guy playing the drums and that black lady singing like Goddess and like Celia Cruz, and like, wow, how are these two people can command so many like millions of fans is beyond me. That it wasn't their looks or anything like that. It was just their joy of being Hispanic, their joy of being culturally the king and queen of Latin music, and their joy of just bringing people together. And that's to dance and forget about life for a while. And that's what Puente and Celia did all those years. Amazing.
I have one last question for you before we go.
You just gave me chills, by the way. I just got chills everywhere.
And I asked the same question to Ralphie when I first met him. Like, how was it for you growing up in the midst of all these icons that paved the way for people like the younger generation of Latin music now? In the midst of Tito Puente and Celia Cruz and, like I said, Eddie Palmieri and Hector, all those people that today, are iconic for what they do, can't be replicated. And their music today, all these years, still lives on.
Still is the music that people love.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, how was that like for you to know that as you got older, and you realize, holy shit, like I'm in the midst of icons?
That's funny. I spoke to Ralphie yesterday. I call him Ralphie Jr. since Uncle Ralphie's his father. He's like my uncle. And I spoke to him yesterday about, man, are there any singers left in New York? Because we're going to do a concert there in December. And I was like looking for singers, some of the old school guys. And he's like, to be honest with you, Tito, he's like, there's nobody left. There's everybody moved out of like New York. You know,
Yeah.
the Ray Sepulveda, the Johnny Ray,
Mhm.
the Salsa Romantica guys, Tony Vega, Jose Beto Canario. They all moved out.
Yeah.
You know, Tito Nieve.
Yeah.
They all moved. You know, Orlando, Puerto Rico, West Coast, wherever they moved to. And I said, wow, you know what? You're right. He goes, mostly DJs now. So that shows me two things. It shows me that the transition of music and how we react to it, and how the younger generation more is into DJs and more of the reggaetoneros and the
Mhm.
Latin trap music. Those artists really seem to do well, especially with the Alex Sensations and you know the
Yeah.
big concerts that they do.
Camilo.
You know,
Yeah.
those mega concerts.
Yeah, those
And,
mega concerts.
But I still see, even till today, concerts where they have Willie Colon, La India,
Yes.
Tony.
I'm there.
You know,
Yes.
those huge concerts.
Yes.
I'm
Those
there
are
at all of them.
Yes.
You at all of them, and I appreciate that. And Ralphie told me, he's like, you know, it's never going to be like the way our
No,
dads
no.
had it,
Nope.
and I agree with him with that.
Mhm.
However, it's really up to Ralphie and me, you know. And I always try to talk him into, man, you got to do a big concert. You know, we got to bring all these guys
Telling
back.
him
And
that for years.
trust me. Everybody tried to get Ralphie Jr. to come and do that. Get the RMM brand going. You know, I think we.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So he, you know, if I'm in his ear because I'm old, a little bit older than him, and I saw him when he was very little, so we
Mhm.
grew up together. I was 14 and he was about maybe 7, you know, so we saw each other,
Right.
and we both of us, you know, we didn't understand. I'm talking about Damaris, Debbie, sisters, all
Right.
them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we all were in that Madonna world and
Mhm.
Whitney Houston world and
Right.
you know that world,
Right.
Michael Jackson world.
Mhm.
And when we saw Celia and Dad, they were just normal to us.
Right.
And now that they're gone, Ralphie and I, we both look back and we're like, we didn't know at the time how huge they were.
Yes.
Until now, when you're talking about Celia Cruz is going to be on the United States quarter next year.
Yes.
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 We
Come on.
talked about it on the show.
That's
Yes.
She's got a Barbie doll. She's
A
got a
Barbie
Barbie
doll.
doll.
Incredible. Tito Puente celebrating 100 centennial, and he's going to be on, you know, on all these different things on a United States stamp. He's on
Yeah.
the US
Yeah.
stamp. I mean, you don't think of the iconistic or how powerful they are at the time, but now Ralphie and me, we have a responsibility.
Yeah.
Right.
As they say, you know, Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. However, Ralphie and I both understand what our last names mean, what
Mhm.
we mean to the fans,
Yeah.
and hopefully we will be doing, and it's really up to Ralphie and guys like me and Frankie Luis Jr., Jose Fajardo Jr., you know, Cita Rodriguez, daughter of Peter Conde. You know, it's up to us, the second generation of those salsa people, to keep it going.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
we're on a good track. We're on a good track. Maybe not right now, but everything goes in phases. You guys know that.
Yeah.
You've seen
Yeah.
reggaeton go
Yeah.
up and down.
Yeah.
You see trap music
Yeah.
go up and down, salsa go up and down.
Yeah.
Freestyle dance music up and down. Everything goes up and down like that.
Yeah.
But as long as we maintain our Hispanic culture and who we are and be true to ourselves and continue to teaching the next generation, who knows? Maybe Ralphie's kids and my kids will get together and say, we're going to do a massive concert for all our grandparents.
Yeah.
You know, we're
Can
going
you
to bring in,
imagine?
you know,
Yeah.
all those legends. You know, if they're going to do a movie eventually, and we're working on one, by the way, a documentary series on Tito Puente's life, and
Yeah.
we'll touch on all those artists that we just mentioned, because they all work with Tito Puente, and of
Yeah.
course a biopic eventually too. So many great things happening for my camp. By the way, if you guys don't know, including you, Inés, I haven't forgotten about you. Please follow me on all my social media at Tito Puente Jr., Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and you guys can see all the great concerts we're doing, the centennial concerts we're doing for my late father. A lot of big shows coming up, one in the Bronx in Hostess College in November. And then we're doing some other stuff in Puerto Rico. I think I'm going back for New Year's Eve. And we're doing a big concert in South Florida, another one on the West Coast. I don't know where you ladies are at.
New
If you're on
York.
the Coast,
New
West
York.
Coast, both of you guys are in New York?
All three of us. Yeah.
All right. So if you're in New York, come on out to the Bronx. I'm doing a bunch of shows. And we're doing one in December too as well at the Palladium, which is the old Best Buy
No
theater.
way.
Oh, the
Wow,
Palladium.
The Palladium.
Yeah. So we want to do a big concert there celebrating Tito Puente. So a lot of great things
Love
coming
that.
from us. And by the way, you guys know my sister Audrey, who was a
Yes.
meteorologist on Fox 5. So
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I went
Yeah.
to the 100 Hispanic Women Gala and I saw her there. She was the
Yes.
median. Yes.
yeah, she's not into music. She's a meteorologist. I always said she had her head in the clouds. So there you go.
She did good for herself, though.
Do a cheers for Audrey. Do a cheers for Audrey. Yay!
Yeah.
A Hispanic woman on TV making it happen, proud being Puerto Rican and all that.
She looked amazing at the gala. She looked so pretty.
Yeah, her biggest fans are from Rikers Island. Yeah, she got Rikers Island fans. They be writing her letters and all that.
I can't with you.
Well, that's all they're doing is watching TV, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. They're making license plates. No.
Hilarious.
Tito, thank you so much for coming onto our show. This has been an experience, a history lesson. It's been an honor to have you on the show.
Definitely.
I appreciate it.
I hope you can join us later on after you do all of your concerts, and we can have you back on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Inés. Muchas gracias, Gloria. Gracias, Claudia. Gracias, Francis, por esa oportunidad para hablar de la historia de mi padre, Tito Puente, la historia de la música, la historia de su cultura. Somos orgullosos hispanos, orgullosos dominicanos, Colombia, Puerto Rico, todo presentarla aquí. Es más importante para la juventud de hoy, reconocimiento a la música de Tito Puente, Celia Cruz, Fania All-Star. So muchísimas gracias a ustedes. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time. And I had a blast chatting with you ladies, man. This is cool.
Thank you.
So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with my segment, Entertaining con Francis. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome to my segment, Entertaining con Francis. So, I caught myself in a little bit of bind. I didn't realize I invited some friends over, not a lot, like 4 friends, for like a little fall ball. And I wanted to do something cute, but I didn't have time to go out and really shop. So I started looking for all the little crafty things that I have in my house. And I came up with this concoction of doing like a personalized charcuterie box that's all over TikTok. And of course, all my stuff, I get it from the Dollar Tree. So I bought these leaves, which I bought them also for Gloria for her little like jewelry segment. So I thought they were so cute. And I'm like, what can I do with this milk carton box? Because the milk carton box, I didn't have time to paint it or anything. I'm like, just like do a little fall type of feel. So I found these leaves, and they have they're burlap leaves. They have the little wire. So I put it underneath the box, right? And then since they're wire, I just fit it to the shape of the box underneath. Nobody needs to know, right? So I think it looks corny cute. You have all these different little colors of the leaves, right? So now, since I don't have a lot of time and I'm not going to do a big spread, I'm going to fill it with all these little things. So when people arrive, they can just pick out of the box, right? And then it reduces dishes and everything. So I'm going to put nuts on the bottom, right? Then if people have a sweet tooth, I have these cute dark chocolate wrapped Reese's, right? Add a little color. And then Trader Joe's has these awesome milk chocolate sticks. And then you put it in there, right? And then I'm going to put some grapes. I would definitely put this like in a little napkin, so to make it really cute, but we're just gonna put this, you get the picture, the little grapes in here inside the box, right? Then I have popcorners. People love these little popcorners. So I'm gonna put a few sticking out on the corner over here, right? Something salty, right? Then I would make a flour of like some salami or prosciutto, but I'm not gonna do that now because then I'm gonna have to throw it away and I don't want to do that. So then we have this little chocolate chip cookies. And then we can put them in here. And then we have some pretzels. I like to buy the pretzel rod, right? And you could put it there on the corner. And last but not least, obviously I would put a toothpick with some olives and some cheese. Actually, I got you. Hold on a second. So we could put some crackers on the side. Don't mind my sweatpants. But I have actually now that I think about it, I have individually wrapped cheese sticks and individually wrapped cheddar cheese. And there you go. A cute little box with everything inside. You have your crackers, your cheese, you have something sweet, you have something salty, and people can just eat from that little box as they're walking around or entertaining one another. It's easy cleanup. Once they're done, you keep your leaves, you throw the box in the garbage. Done deal. And it was all purchased at the Dollar Tree. So these come in a pack of 6, I believe. So this was $2.50, and then this was a pack of 8 for $1.25. So with $3.25, you made something cute and useful, and it reduces mess when you have people over. I hope you like it. Welcome back, guys. So ladies, how did you like my little travel charcuterie box?
I thought that was so cute.
So cute. I love how, I don't know how to say it. Charcuterie? Is that what
Charcuterie.
I used to be like caricature. No idea how to say it, but I love it.
I love it. I think it's so cute.
So cute.
Practical. So let's get it going. Like you said, you can
And
grab it, walk around.
Yeah. I always, it's less overwhelming. Like than the whole, I've seen someone do it and I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot of work. So I feel like that's just like a cute little candy bag almost. Of treats.
Almost like right, like the kids' party, right? When you get that treat bag, that's like your little treat bag for coming to the party.
100%. And then the cute part about it is that, you know, once you start eating from it, if you want to take the rest of it home, or, you know, you're done eating whatever you want to eat, then you just peel the sticker part out and you close it, and then you could take it with you.
That is so cool.
You could put their names on it, you know, different little ideas. I mean, you could even glue the leaves on. But like I said, it was very last minute, so I just used the wire to hold it in place.
Then you can't reuse them if you glue them.
You can't reuse those boxes. Oh, you mean the leaves?
The leaves.
Yeah, then the leaves become property of the person that you're gonna give the box to. I mean, but you can also use double-sided tape.
You can also just add wine.
Yeah, that too. You could add a little bottle of wine in there.
A little, right?
There's so many different things that you can do. You know,
would be really cute.
But it's really cute, and you just have it ready, and people grab a box, and that's it. You know, it's the perfect starter, appetizer, and at the same time, it gives you time then to focus on dinner.
Yeah.
Right, because you don't have to clear out appetizers.
Right, you don't got to
clean that
up,
part.
Like set up. Right.
They're all set up. People can grab it, and that's it. It's cute. Well, I'm glad you guys liked it. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with our final remarks. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, so what did you think of our show today?
I love that show
think
today.
Our guest was so amazing, such a blessing, such an honor.
Yeah, so humble.
Oh my God.
So, it was like educational, emotional, historical, informative. I think this was an amazing show.
I love how he just, you know, like understands the importance of his culture. You know, like I think growing up, you know, you take things for granted,
right?
You know, because he's with
you know, when you're in your teens or even your 20s, you're not really thinking about
it, right? And now he sees the impact that generation, his father and everyone else who came with him, the importance and
the inspiration, the appreciation.
And he's like, it's my responsibility. Like, I love it. It's like, it's my responsibility to continue the legacy, which is, you know, it's a lot of pressure. Yeah. But also keeps him motivated and going, you know,
and that he's doing it his way.
Yeah. Right. It's his why.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah. I love that. I think the fact that he's taken on that responsibility humbly too.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and he wants to continue the you know,
A puente, like
what
he
they
said.
yeah, he wants to continue, bridging the gap, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
I also, like he said, and like we said, that time is never going to happen again.
Oh, of course
And
not.
what they actually stand for in our culture
Huge.
and in the Hispanic history, in the Latin history, means so much, because what they did has never been done before.
Right.
You know,
It will probably never be done again.
and it'll
It
probably
hasn't
never
been
be done again.
replicated.
No, it can't. And their music still lives on. Yeah,
And it will live forever.
it will live forever. So the
Yeah.
fact that he's carrying out that legacy, I mean, it gives me goosebumps just to
Yeah.
think about, what they're doing. And, kudos to them and kudos to him. And
Yeah.
I think it was one of the best shows that we've had in, throughout our
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
It was very
Definitely was
impactful.
amazing.
Yeah. And, impactful was my little, charcuterie box. Too.
Yes. We loved your little
Very
I
nice.
lost the leaf.
and your leaf.
I lost the leaf,
And
Oh,
but yeah.
I can't with you right now.
You could put it in your hair too.
También.
it
Sí.
goes with the outfit.
You
Bien,
can
bien
receive your guests.
fabulosa.
You can receive your guests with the,
No
with
puedo
the,
contigo.
I mean, make an impact that way too. Like a
Sí,
clip.
pero un impacto grande. Casi un primer impacto.
Un primer
Okay.
impacto.
Fabulosa. Mm.
Gotta be creative sometimes.
Sí. Ajá.
But guys,
Vaya.
thank you so much for watching our show. Join us next week. I'm so excited to have this couple on. I love their story and what they stand for. But join us next week for a culinary adventure where we put our aprons on alongside this culinary couple, Chef Rafael Gonzalez and his talented wife, Tony Gonzalez. This dynamic duo consisting of Chef Rafael and event planner Tony seamlessly blend the realms of taste and aesthetics. They are here to elevate your event hosting experience to a whole new level. Join us this Wednesday to discover the fascinating journey on how they founded the Wow Factory Academy, where they impart the art of creating restaurant quality dishes in the comfort of your own home.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Can't wait. And tune in and listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Google Podcasts. And follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Wine and Wisdom 5.
Oye, our highly, highly anticipated annual Halloween episode is just around the corner. After exploring goddesses, which we were fabulous in, and villains, don't forget, our evil sides. In the past, this year, our theme is shrouded in mystery. You'll have to join us to uncover the thrilling surprises as always. But don't forget to take a minute to sip some wine and share un poquito de vino y la verdad. See you next time. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.